Traditionally or usually ang name-mention natin ay kailangan meron tayong annual check-up ng ating personal finance. However, I think it's also important to do a mid-year check-up. So kung yung end of the year talagang may analysis, yung middle of the year, CLEP or check-up. As the mid-year mark approaches, it's an excellent time to review and assess your finances. The beginning of the year might have been filled with resolutions and plans, but mid-year is perfect for reflection and adjustment. So here are some actionable steps to improve your financial health and ensure you're on track for a prosperous year. The first one is to review your budget. Halfway through the year is an ideal time to revisit your budget. Look at your spending patterns over the past 6 months. Are you overspending in any categories? Have your priorities changed? Adjust your budget to reflect your current financial situation and goals. Consider using budgeting apps to streamline this process and gain better insights into your spending habits. Especially yung mga beginner pa lang sa pagbabudget, meron tayong budgeting strategy na ginagamit kung ikaw ay nag-envelope method or yung nag-50-30-20. I think it's a good time to reassess kung okay ba talaga sa'yo yung strategy na yon or napipilitan ka lang na mag-continue kasi nasimulan mo na. Gusto mo na siyang tapusin for the rest of the year. While it's good that you have the motivation to continue until the end of the year, but personally sa akin, to make the experience more pleasant, it's okay to change your budgeting strategy in the middle of the year and find another method that could work better for you. So, tingnan mo, nasusunod mo ba yung budget mo? Let's say na inassign mo na 20% of your income will go to your savings. Pero for the past 3, 4, or 5 months, 10% lang yung nailalagay mo sa savings mo kasi medyo mataas yung gastos mo. You don't have to feel guilty. Siguro, starting June or even starting July, 10% na lang ang i-allocate mo sa iyong savings. So, i-adjust ninyo. Total budget nyo naman yan. So, make the rules work for you so that you feel less guilty about following it. You feel better and motivated in continuing with this good habit. Sasabi ko nga it's doesn't really matter what budgeting strategy or budgeting method you use as long as you have one, because you are far better off than someone who does not budget at all. Pag titingnan natin yung gastos natin, we become more aware of yung mga bad spending habits natin, and that's really the first step towards correcting them or changing those bad money habits. During this time, siguro nakuha nyo na yung inyong electric bill na galing nung summer. So, kamusta? No? Gaano kataas? Pwede nyong balikan din. Ano ba yung mga pagtitipid na ginawa ninyo sa gastos nung summer para dahil you were anticipating a high electric bill. So baka yung ginawa nyong pagtitipid in other areas or categories in your life, pwede nyo siyang i-continue towards the end of the year kasi nagawa nyo na siya ng summer di might as well continue doing it so that you can have surplus money for the coming months dahil you have to prepare for the rainy season, which is something we will talk about later. Step number 2 is to reassess your financial goals. Your financial goals may have shifted since the beginning of the year. Whether saving for a vacation, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund, mid-year is a great time to realign your goals. Break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, and set realistic timelines to achieve them. Ano yung mga goals mo at the start of the year? And kamusta na ba sila? Are you able to stay on track? Mas malapit ka na ba na ma-achieve yung mga financial goals mo na yon? Or medyo nag-detour ka at parang hindi mo na gusto i-pursue yung mga ibang goals na yon? For example, meron akong kaibigan na ang goal niya for this year is to become a freelancer. So, nung January, pinaplano niya na kung ano yung freelancing career path na gagawin niya. Tapos, by February, magre-resign siya sa work kasi ang binigay niya sa sarili niya at yung binigay niyang budget is 3 months para maging full-time freelancer. So, magre-resign siya ng February, magiging freelancer siya, February, March, April. Itatry niya na i-grow yung freelancing career niya. Then, by May, doon siya magde-decide kung maghahanap siya ng work or i-continue niya yung kanyang pagiging freelancer. However, as fate would have it, hindi pa siya nag-resign, inofferan siya ng job promotion. So, totally na iba yung kanyang career path and he decided na, sige na nga, hindi muna ako mag-re-resign. Yung freelancing ko, gusto ko pa rin siyang i-pursue pero as a side hustle na lang. So, yung sinet niya ng mga goals, mga plans, yung schedule, even yung budget na tinabi niya para sa cost of living niya, pag-resign niya, nasa bangko pa rin lang and it's just earning savings account interest dun sa bangko. So now, when we were talking about that, sinabi ko sa kanya, it's the mid-year and since mukhang you have decided to really continue your corporate job, your corporate career, then may na-free up ka na money kasi that's 5 months worth of your living expenses that is different from your emergency fund na nasa bangko lang. So perhaps you should create a new financial goal and use that money to fund that. So sabi ko medyo mas may liberty ka ngayon. And na-excite siya kasi oo nga no, kasi automatic sa isip niya, idagdag ko na lang yan sa emergency fund ko or at least meron akong freedom na anytime na gusto ko biglang mag-freelancer, meron na akong budget. So sabi ko, you can still do that but instead of just letting it sleep in a savings account, perhaps you can put it in a low-risk investment. Pwede mo muna ilagay sa money market fund or i-time deposit mo kasi mas mataas ang interest rate ng time deposit. So, na-realize niya yung mga additional options niya with his money when we talked about ano na ba yung nangyari ngayong middle of the year versus yung start of the year na financial goals mo. Number 3 is to boost your savings. Evaluate your savings strategy. Which saving strategies worked and which ones didn't. Moreover, if you will receive a mid-year bonus, plan how you'll spend it. But consider directing these funds into your savings or investment accounts or paying off debts. Usong-uso na ngayon yan na magbigay ng mid-year bonus. Aside from planning how you will spend or save or invest yung mid-year bonus na matatanggap mo, kung meron man, you also look back, kamusta yung pagtitipid ko nung summer? Ano yung mga strategies na nag-work para sa akin? Yung paying yourself first, did that really work? Yung ibang mga pagtitipid sa some aspects of your life or some areas of your lifestyle, did it work or did it just make you miserable? Meron akong kaibigan na nagtitipid sa pagkain kasi doon niya balak kunin yung additional savings na maitatabi niya. Pero naging miserable siya kasi sabi niya may mga cravings daw siya na hindi niya mabili and it made the habit of saving unpleasant for him. So sabi ko, di wag kang magbawas sa pagkain. Maghanap ka. It's a trial and error. Each person is different. Personal finance is personal. Baka ang pwede mong tipirin ay yung iyong transportation. Diba? Sabi ko sa kanya, since usually kapag mayroon kang importanteng lakad, nagtataksi ka, baka dun sa aspect na yon pwede kang makatipid. Instead of mag-taxi ka, di mag-public transportation. Tapos, tingnan mo, ano ba yung mga ibang gastos mo na pwede mong bawasan. Kasi it's very obvious na pag binawasan mo yung budget sa pagkain, ay hindi ka masaya. So, You evaluate, you try to be kind to yourself, and always remember na you don't have to do what others are doing. Number 4 is to pay down debt. If you're paying off loans and debts, review your repayment plan. What were the challenges that you encountered? How can you minimize or avoid those for the rest of the year? Remember to focus on paying off high-interest debt first, such as credit cards, to save on interest payments. Particularly, meron akong kaibigan na hindi naman siya bank loan, pero meron siyang loan sa isang institution na ginamit niya kasi for an important expense nung December. So, kumuha siya ng 6-month term dun sa loan. And nung March pa lang ramdam niya na masyadong malaki yung monthly. At sinabi ko sa kanya na kung nahirapan ka, why not talk to your creditor and ask for a restructuring of the loan. Yung kailangan mong bayaran for the next 3-4 months, ipa-extend mo, ipa-recompute mo, and sabihin mo, what if I pay the balance for the next 8 months? So, i-divide pa siya ng 8 months. And pumayag naman yung creditor. So, in your case, kung nagbabayad ka ng loan or debt, balikan mo yung budget mo, nababayaran mo ba siya o nahihirapan ka? And if you're finding it difficult to make ends meet and to pay your obligations, then perhaps it's a good idea to talk to your creditors, talk to the bank. Baka meron silang solution na pwedeng i-offer sa'yo. I think there's no harm in asking if there's a way for you to make your payments easier. The mid-year mark is a good pause when it comes to your finances na, teka, stop muna tayo, huminga muna tayo, and then let's see where we are, and let's see if we can make our finances stay on track for the rest of the year. Number 5 is to evaluate your investments. So, tapos na tayo sa savings, sa utang. Ngayon, tingnan muna natin yung mga investments natin. Take a closer look at your investment portfolio. Mid-year is a good time to rebalance your portfolio if necessary, possibly taking profit from those that overperformed and investing more in those with good return potential for the rest of the year. Consult with a financial advisor if you're unsure about your investment strategy. Usually, very optimistic ang market ng first half of the year. Kung meron kang mga short-term investments na kumita na, then perhaps you should take profit already. Kung may mga investments na unexpectedly nag-overperform, pwede ka sigurong mag-top slice. For example, bumili ka ng isang stock na ang expected return mo is 10% for the year, pero talagang umakyat siya. Ngayon, 25% plus 25% na yung gain mo. Then, why not sell yung 15% gain mo and just maintain the 10% gain kung i-average mo? So, at least nag-take profit ka na, may nakabig ka na, and then see if there are underperforming investments that you can buy or invest in, so that pag tumaas naman sila, then you have a potential to earn good returns. Kasi may mga stocks or investments then for the first half of the year, medyo sluggish. Hindi dahil pangit sila, pero mabagal lang. But fundamentals and even probably the technicals show that merong upside siya. Meron siyang potential na umakyat. Ang tanong lang is kailan. So perhaps you can buy more shares of that stock or more shares of that mutual fund as long as it is backed by good fundamentals. Then I don't see anything wrong with investing more in those assets kahit na nag-underperform sila during the first half of the year. I always mention na pag nag-invest ka, technically, yes, papatulugin mo lang yung pera mo doon. Hindi ibig sabihin nun, i-ignore mo na siya. You have to assess if it's still doing well, and at least once a year, but probably mid-year, sumilip kayo, silipin nyo, and see if kamusta ba siya. Number 6, we now go to the practical side of things, which is to set up your rainy day fund. Literal na rainy day fund. Pag sinabi kasing rainy day fund, parang emergency fund in general terms. But typhoon season is just around the corner. Prepare your budget to anticipate unexpected costs such as home repairs. Pag bumagyo, may masira sa bahay. So, kailangan i-anticipate mo yun na what if mangyari to, then meron akong pera na pampagawa. Car maintenance, especially if you live in a flood-prone area. Hindi mo kasalanan pero minsan mababaha ka. Minsan mayroong nasa biyahe ka, unexpected, kailangan mo talagang idaan sa baha yung kotse mo, so baka kailangan niya na maintenance. So that is additional expense for you. Of course, health-related cost. Putting extra money in your emergency fund will be very helpful, especially na mas mataas yung chances na magkasakit during the season. Additional travel costs due to inclement weather, especially sa mga nagta-travel for their work. Minsan may mga travel delays. I remember a friend na videographer kasi yung work niya. So meron siyang kinover na event sa nearby province. Kaso may bagyo, inabutan siya ng bagyo. Although nairaos naman daw nila yung event, pero they had to stay overnight sa isang hotel dahil hindi sila makabiyahe pa uwi dahil sobrang lakas ng ulan. So, that's additional cost. If you have plans of traveling for the second half of the year, or even if it's part of your work, then it might be helpful. It will not hurt to set aside a small amount, a budget, in case these travel delays happen. Lastly, of course, emergency supplies. May mga kilala ako, every year na lang bumibili siya ng payong kasi yung payong na binibili niya, although magagamit naman niya during the rainy season, hindi siya ganyong ka-durable. Admittedly, kasi mura lang naman siya. So, by the time na nag-summer at nag-rainy season ulit, hindi na maayos yung payong. May rust na, kalawang na, hindi na ganun ka-smooth yung pag-open. So, sabi niya, okay lang naman daw dahil at least every year, iba-iba yung style ng payong niya. Or nakabili siya ng bagong payong na masarap gamitin kasi bagong bili. You anticipate, ano ba usually yung mga unexpected na gastos ko during the rainy season? So at least from unexpected, it becomes anticipated and your budget is more prepared for that. Lastly, is to prepare for the holidays. The holiday season often brings increased spending on gifts, travel, and celebrations. Start preparing now to avoid financial stress later. Create a holiday budget listing all anticipated expenses. Begin setting aside money each month specifically for holiday spending. Look for deals and start shopping early to spread out the cost. I-remind ko na kayo, no, yung mga budget nyo para sa pangregalo, sa panghanda, simulan nyo nang ipunin ngayon. At ang maganda dyan, kung naglilista na rin kayo ng mga probably re-regaluhan ninyo, you can probably brainstorm already the gifts that you plan to give them so that pag merong deal, especially come October, pag nagsimula na yung 10-10, 11-11, mabibili nyo na kagad yung gusto nyong iregalo. Okay? So, prepare for the holidays. Aside from the rainy days na tip natin kanina, now, you also anticipate ano ba yung mga usual holiday cost or expenses ko, and you can now start saving up for them. Taking these steps in the middle of the year can help you stay on track with your financial goals and improve your overall financial health. Regularly reviewing and adjusting your financial plans ensures that you're prepared for whatever the rest of the year brings. By being proactive, you can achieve greater financial stability and peace of mind. So yan yung ating mga tips on what to do and how to do a mid-year financial check-up. And I hope ay marami kayong natutunan at na-pick up na tips.